been a while since we had any kind of updates to the jungle map. In fact, it was removed from CTA for the past 2 weeks or so. But in the recent patch, DarkSide brought it back and also updated the jungle map in a pretty huge way. And I have to say, the map looks absolutely amazing. It's very rich, dense green vegetation, and the slight mist around the map makes you feel like you're actually in the jungle. And that's exactly what we all wanted, well, most of us anyway. I know some people, including myself, was concerned the map would turn out to look very similar to the maps in China Rising, but that's not the case at all. The jungle map feels very unique when compared to every other map in the game. One thing I always used to say when the CMP project first started was I really hope DarkSide fill the map up with as much vegetation and plant life as possible to capture that jungle feeling and create some of those tense moments where you're walking through the thick vegetation knowing the enemy is only about 5 meters away in any direction. Which actually happened in this situation here. I knew there was about 4 players or so around my position, but with the thick plant life I could barely even see 5 meters ahead of me. And it's moments like this that really immerse you into the game. It also made me think, what would the jungle map be like if it was at night time? That could be pretty interesting. With DarkSide converting over some of the vanilla maps to make a nighttime version of it, I wonder if maybe in the future they could do the same for this map. I know that's asking for a lot, but I do think it could be amazing. But anyway, so what did they exactly add to the map? There's no patch notes, but there was a general post about the improvements. They added terrain shaders, roads, props and textures to most of the map, but the temple underneath the waterfall, the B flag, still has some missing textures around the floor and walls. But as you can see here, the actual temple itself at the back is looking really good. And speaking of capture points, the E-Flag Plantation Point has almost been completely changed. There's a few new buildings here which provide some nice cover if you're trying to defend the point. Also, you'll find plant life in most of the areas of the map where you can actually kind of hide in. It's really cool to see how they move as you crawl and walk through it. If you see plant life moving around like this at various locations of the map, it possibly could mean an enemy player is nearby. And little details like this, even if it barely covers your body, it's still a great addition. And that's probably the next biggest concern I've read from the player base is how much cover do infantry have? DarkSide still haven't completed the map obviously, but I can safely say cover wasn't an issue when I was attacking or defending the flags. Except for the C flag ghost town. Yes, all the destruction is really cool, but once all the houses and whatnot are all gone, it can be fairly difficult to find some basic cover while burning the flag. And what makes it even harder is the radius where you can actually burn the flag is pretty small. And if there's a tank or LAV, it's next to impossible to stay alive. I'm not entirely sure how to fix this problem, but for starters I would suggest to expand the radius where you can cap the flag, but like I said, at the moment it still feels like DarkSide are going to be tweaking the map a lot more in the near future. Also, I want to touch up on a few points. With all the vegetation and plant life, as a tank or LAV driver, you really need to watch your surroundings and make sure you're in open space where you can find it. Because once you go into the dense jungle parts of the map, it's extremely easy for infantry to sneak up on you, place some C4 down and blow you up. I saw this happen a lot yesterday, so for any vehicle driver, just watch out where you're driving, and for infantry players, if you see a tank or LAV making the mistake of driving through the jungle, it's a perfect time for you to strike. Also, not entirely sure if this was already in the jungle map before, but there's a slight mist over the map, which got me thinking. They should add the same mist effect in the Dragon Valley map to kind of match up with how it was in BF4. I think it'll help aid infantry to give them some kind of cover, but overall, I'm very impressed with the jungle map. Like I said before, the map looks absolutely amazing. Also, like I've mentioned plenty of times before, if you want to experience the jungle map for yourself and you have a PC, download CTA and try it out for yourself and leave feedback on the CTA Reddit page. Also, if you're an Xbox One owner and you're lucky enough to get an invite to the Xbox One CTA, you may have the opportunity to playtest this update, but I'm not entirely too sure if this patch will make its way over to the Xbox One client. So the second topic I want to talk about is the 60 and 120Hz tick rate servers. When DarkSide first brought this over to CTA, I honestly didn't think such a massive improvement to the game would make its way over to BF4. It almost seemed like more or less a proof of concept that could have a kind of live environment to play on, and probably would eventually be made into a feature for the next major Battlefield game. Well, it seems like my assumption was totally wrong, and it turns out these higher tick rates will in fact make its way over to retail BF4. To give you guys some more info about this topic, it sounds like the 60Hz tick rate servers will first be on PC, then at next gen consoles after. As we can see from this tweet here, Julian does mention they'll need to finish it and release it on PC first before next gen. Also, this tweet was referencing 60Hz, so I'm not too sure if 120Hz will be available as well. Obviously, playing a game on 120Hz server would be amazing. I mean, you'll be sending your data to and from the server really damn quick. But in terms of completely seeing all the benefits of a 120Hz server on PC, you need to have a few hardware requirements. First of all, you need a 120 or 144Hz monitor, and you need to have a powerful enough PC to actually run the game at least 120 FPS. Without the high FPS and the high refresh rate monitor, you physically won't be able to see all the benefits. This also applies to next gen consoles. There's no point of 120Hz servers, as there's no way the PS4 and Xbox One can actually run BF4 at 120 FPS. So I assume 60Hz will become the new standard, moving away from 30Hz. Then I guess 120Hz option will only be a specialized setting for PC servers only. But anyway guys, that's it for today's video. Let me know your thoughts about the jungle map update. Leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.